I am content creator Sally Estlin and the founder of Empowered Clothing. I empower women over 50 to create a conscious and intentional lifestyle on my show, Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin. And hello. Yes, I'm content creator and a holistically fit specialist. I share authentic and everyday issues for women over 50. So you can learn more about my fashion products and services at empoweredclothing.com.au. So today I'm very, very excited because I've got a very special guest on today, close to my heart. It's Kim Parker, and we'll be discussing how to unleash your power. And before I bring Kim up out of the green room, I thought I'd just introduce her. So Kim is a spiritual healing practitioner, a medical intuitive, a lifestyle health and wellbeing coach, and she's passionate about helping individuals activate their innate self-healing ability, heal physically and energetically, and to live a deeply meaningful and aligned life. Everything I absolutely align with and love about Kim. So here she is. Without further ado, welcome, Kim.
Hey, Sel, so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. So do you want to share a little bit about yourself and what you do? Because I just think you are just absolutely such a gifted person.
Oh, thanks, Sel. Well, I am deeply passionate about helping people heal, and that for me starts with taking ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I ha and my mess has become my message through my own health journey. And I found quite early on in my life that if I didn't take ownership and take back my own power in terms of choosing what I wanted to do with regards to my health and take responsibility. If I wasn't going to do that, instead hand it over to somebody else, I wasn't going to make the progress I needed to actually heal.
Mm.
So that was a really deep journey. And my husband was very unwell as well. So the two of us have been through extraordinary health journeys. And I just found that really, when you take your power back and actually really take control of your own health, it's your body is a temple and it's the only place you have to live. And when I realized that and that I needed to do something and step up,
Mm.
that's when I really stepped into my own power and found amazing change. When you take that step,
Mm.
it's amazing what meets you.
I just love it because it is about ownership and responsibility. It really, really is. And I love how you describe it as from a mess to a message. Yeah. So how long ago did your health was failing and
My husband's, when I met him, he was not well at all. So we were 18 and we were young. And he had celiac disease with chronic dermatitis. So his skin burned a
mm,
large part of the day. And we went to doctors and all sorts of things, and very soon found out that unfortunately, we were looking in mainstream, they didn't really have solutions
mm,
for us. So
mm.
um, I took it upon myself. It just the innate, obviously, it's my journey because I just really wanted to find another way. So I'm very, very determined to look for alternative solutions. So I love walking down the unbeaten track and
Yeah.
finding extraordinary solutions, and it served us well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love about you. You really have become a detective of your own body and your own health, and really looking for the core issue. I know
Yes.
years ago, back in the 90s, I studied naturopathy and homeopathy. And back then, I mean, what was I in the 20s? But then that started to open my eyes to let's not use a band aid effect, but let's get down to the root cause. And I know you are so passionate about that, particularly like with diet and how that can affect your wellness rather than your illness.
Yes, yes. It's really important. And what I find is I've realized that I'm an incessant truth seeker.
Oh, I love
But you don't have to be an incessant truth seeker. You just need to, or I feel that if you're prepared to not accept what you're told, if you're prepared to, I think for me, the underlying thread of my whole journey is that I have always challenged the status quo and
mm,
I have been curious. And that, again, has served me extremely well because it has led me to truth and
mm,
to beautiful solutions from a healing perspective, both physically and energetically. So
mm,
I feel as soon as you're open, if you become more open to receiving more information, being open to perhaps changing your belief systems or expanding your view on the world. If you just open a little bit, it's amazing what gets given to you, gets put across your path. It's amazing what you draw in. So I feel like the truth has been put before my path because I have been extremely open to it.
Absolutely, and I think particularly in the last few years, a lot of us have gone actually questioned what we believe to be the truth and have really gone down different paths of awareness and understanding. And what we were, particularly what we were brought up with thinking was right, is often not
Is
right. I know
no,
just through diet alone, working with clients and things, and what we were, dairy, for example, and all these controversial things, keto diets and all these different type of diets that bring things in and out and kind of like fads as well. But that was just on the diet side of
yes,
um, awareness. But I'm a firm believer that I'm very, very open-minded to anything now. I'm what was originally known as a firm belief is now questionable, and I think having that open-mindedness and that capacity to absorb different points of view is
yes.
really, really empowering.
Yes, and being able to actually go, okay, hold on, that was my truth or my belief then,
Yep.
but I've now been presented with new information and that really
Yep.
resonates with me. It's okay for my belief to shift. I think a lot of us hold into our beliefs
Mm,
because we think we're either letting somebody down or it's we shouldn't be doing it.
mm,
That indoctrination, I think if we just are able to expand, and I really feel that as a result of your health improving, there's definitely a gateway to your spiritual accessibility in terms of your spiritual growth. I have found that as my body was cleansed and as I became more holistic in how I looked after my physical vessel,
yep.
the energetic opportunities and the awakenings that took place were extraordinary.
Yeah.
I definitely think in my particular case, the two go hand in hand, and I've seen it in clients that I work with. That
Mm.
awakening that takes place when the veil is lifted of all the fog and haze around how we look after our bodies, what we're putting in them, what we're exposing them to, etc.
Yeah, I'm just getting goosebumps as you're talking about this because with part of this quantum shift that we're going through and raising our frequencies, we're so much more sensitive, and the body's sensitive. We're sensitive to everything because our frequency is being raised and shifted and lifted, and we have evolved and we've
Yes,
evolved spiritually, and
yes,
who we were 10 years ago is not who we are today. What we believed back then because we've evolved since then, and I think as we move through this massive quantum shift, we have to be more open-minded to different points of views and to different opportunities and to different understandings because we're working with energy that's changing. And that's what I do is just like work with energy, shift and lift it, right? And so
yes, yes.
you're going along that that sort of railway line, if you like, and going on that frequency track and just evolving
Very
with
much
it.
so.
And the sensitivity though, it's amazing though, isn't it? It's like
It
my
is.
whole
It's
gut is so different to what it was even a couple of years ago.
100% so. Just in terms of that you say that willingness to change, I think it takes courage
Mhm.
to question your belief systems and to
Mm.
change the way you're eating if your family and their lineage eat a certain way or have certain belief systems around that.
Mm.
So I feel like empowering yourself um, to make the change. Some of the is letting go of those attachments really helps empower you. And then when you start to make daily changes, if you look at the whole staircase, it's overwhelming. But if you just look
Yep.
at the first step, just slowly make changes and you see that you can accomplish those, that really builds your own sense of empowerment when you feel, okay, I've managed that. But if we take off too much and we bite off too much, then we can actually chew, but then
Mm.
we don't actually, it's not sustainable.
Mm.
We don't actually activate that empowerment within us. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yep.
just small changes go a huge way in building your muscle around feeling empowered.
I love it. I love it because it's always about simple, small steps because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, as you said, the big chunk is too much. It's overwhelming. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
changes. Nothing gets done. And today is all about unleashing your power. It's all linking in with, the solar plexus and finding that courage and strength because, unleashing the power within you. And I think as we're going through this, simple small steps, but having this openness of
Yes.
to ready to learn and absorb. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's what feels right to you. So,
Yes.
and that's my barometer, if you like. I check in. Does that feel right, or does that not feel right with me? How does it sit with me? Because so much of this information that is thrown at us, there's just too much, and there's so many contradictory sort of points of view. So which one do I follow? And at the end of the day, I just go within and just go, okay, does this feel right? And then I'll follow that.
And it's so interesting what you say, because I have found that I've had to move in doing this journey since I was whatever age, 18 or whatever. I had to drop from my head space to my
Mm,
heart space and also my gut,
yeah,
where when you say what feels right, because
yeah,
often our upbringing or our belief systems are around what we think. We haven't necessarily felt, does that really feel true
yeah,
to me? Or is it something I'm just taking on from a
yeah,
lineage perspective? And I feel if you're able to drop into that space where you actually honor your inner guidance system,
yeah,
you will find that expansion will take place easier, because you're out of your head where the beliefs and the monkey, the monkey boys and the conditioning is.
yeah.
That's what I feel. I felt that's really helped me. I've had to drop out of that space
Yeah. We
in
talk
order
about
to.
this all the time on here about the three brains, the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And the head brain there is to protect us. It's very logical, but it's very old school. And amongst this shift, it's kind of in the old way. And the
Yes.
heart is feeling it, does it feel right or whatever? But the gut is the inner GPS, it's the sensor. And that is my inner guidance. And so, even with, what's right and what's wrong, like you were talking about, taking ownership of your health. And does it feel right for me? Because everybody's
Yeah.
body is different, and what works for one doesn't necessarily work for another. And
Yeah.
what I love is that you look for the underlying causes. You really do become the detective of your own health and body. And
Yeah.
when you're working with your clients, you peel back the layers to see what's really going on and what's going to work for them. Because as I said, there's so much controversial stuff, dairy, gluten, all that sort of stuff. And you and I are very in alignment about a lot of stuff, but I've learned a lot from you as well, and probably won't bring up some of that today because it's more controversy. But, it is just feeling, does it feel right for me?
Yeah.
And I often teach people, the body pendulum, ask the body,
Yes.
does this suit my body? And it goes yes for forward, or no for backwards. Like little simple tools. If you can't, because once again, it's simple, small steps, training yourself to trust your inner guidance, trust your gut, trust that inner GPS, because it doesn't, it's, you have to overcome the head to get that courage and to have that confidence in trusting yourself. And you and I have gone down this path a lot over the last couple of
A
years.
lot, a lot. And the word trust is so important that you use there, Sal, because I
Mm,
find that the more trust you build, right, the more you build that muscle, the more you're open to relying on your innate healing system.
mm,
And that's where your power is. And that's where you are the most powerful, where your body, if you're able to access that, it's a beautiful gift. And having the trusting yourself enough to be able to go there
mm,
is part of the process.
mm.
So doing it more often and as often as you can, and just dropping into that space and really just asking the question, so what does it feel like? How does that resonate? How do I feel
Yeah.
about that? What does the energy feel like? Does that feel true to me? Do
Mm,
I need more information?
mm.
Okay, a um, I'm open to receiving a synchronicity that brings me that information.
Oh, I like
And
it.
it happens like that so quickly when you do.
Yeah, when you
Yeah,
really just let
yeah,
go, just
let
let
go.
go. I
Yeah,
mean, years ago, I started going down this path with Dr. Joe Dispenza, doing his meditations, allowing myself to let go. And then since then, morphing into this activated dimensional healing work that we're both going down.
yeah.
And the more that we just allow to connect in and just ask the questions and get the guidance, it's incredible the doors that have opened and the healing potential for our clients. It's been incredible.
Yes, it has. And the guidance that's waiting there for us, I don't think we fully can comprehend it. There
Mm,
is guidance there for us
mm,
that just waiting for us to be more open and to tap more into that innate healing. It's a
mm.
very exciting place to be, and it's very empowering. And you end up having more courage. You feel more powerful. You feel more stable. You feel like you can take on more.
Yeah.
It's just a really beautiful place to be.
Absolutely. It's funny. I did a blog this week and it was talking about we all have our own little interdimensional helpers. We've got our guides, we've got our angels, we've got our dragons, we've got all
Yeah,
this support system
we do.
on a dimensional realm, right? On a dimensional level. And once again, once you can open yourself up to different possibilities and understandings, there's this whole other support system out there, that might not be in the physical form, but wow, so supportive.
There, I think support like you can't believe. In terms
Mm.
of what's happened to me, it's support that I've never received such support ever. I've never known that it would. So it's been incredible for me. So yes, having access to that guidance is
Wow.
a very exciting place to be. And I think in 2024, I
Mm.
think there's way more opportunity for that to take place for people if they are open and if they're in the receiving mode
I
and if they
just love it.
choose it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're of the choosing, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
my whole conversation with you is giving me goosebumps constantly because it's these conversations that need to be had. It's time people are ready for hearing this sort of thing. A
mm,
few years
yeah,
ago, probably pre-COVID,
yeah.
people were just like, no, 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 that's too hard to comprehend. But having COVID has helped us in many ways because the unthinkable has happened. It's like, how can you shut down the entire world? Like, how
Yes,
can you do
yes,
that? And so
yes.
anything is possible. Since then, I've just and so many stories that were going on and all these I don't want to even say conspiracy theories because there's a lot
Yes,
of them weren't. But,
yeah,
having that open-mindedness to say that could be a possibility. But like when we use it for the good, when we stay on the positive side or the
yes,
light side
yes,
of when we're going through the shift, because I think
yes,
2024 is going to have a lot of darkness. But
yes.
if you see
I
the
hardship,
light,
I agree. Yes,
I think you're going to be really navigate it in a positive way and utilize the support that's around us to get through it.
and that's where looking after yourself from a physical aspect is important because as you
Mm,
do that, the more you look after yourself from a physical aspect, in my opinion and in my experience, the more I have access to that innate healing ability and
mm,
that guidance
yep,
that will help you navigate, help you maintain stability to navigate the challenges that come up. And all these challenges that come up are going to be for our further expansion.
mm,
Just like COVID happened for a reason, the expansion that's taken place in terms of the human consciousness since COVID is remarkable. What's happened?
mm.
So there's always a reason why something happens, and I think this year is going to be the same. But I think the difference between this year is that there's so much opportunity there. That's like it's like low hanging fruit. If we are in that choosing mode, it's available to us. That's what I feel is exciting about this year.
Oh, it's definitely a year of expansion,
Yeah,
and out of all the perceived negative situations, there's always a silver lining. There's so many positives.
yeah,
And, we could rehash the whole of COVID. And, I was in Melbourne, the most locked down city, but there were so many positives that came out of it. And look
yeah.
at the changes now because a lot of us
Totally.
have said, oh, bugger this. I'm not putting up with my
Yeah,
old life. I want more for me. And
yeah.
it's time. It's definitely time for people to go to go within to really check in and say, what is it that I'm choosing? And as you started off saying today, taking ownership and responsibility of themselves, their lives, their bodies, and their purpose in life.
Super important because if you don't take ownership, you are giving your power away.
Correct.
That's the one way you take you can't hand it over. You've got to take it back. And then I think whatever you bring in, whatever information you bring in, whatever you receive, knowledge is not power unless it's applied.
Yep.
So then it's about how do you implement that into your life in a sustainable way that you feel good about. That's not overwhelming, that's
Yep.
consistent.
Yep. Yep.
Because the things that make the biggest difference in your life is what you do every day. It's not the things that you do sporadically or
Mm.
occasionally that make the biggest difference. It's the daily stuff that makes the biggest difference.
Oh, absolutely. And, you and I always talk about water. It's
Mm,
just having clean filtered water and
mm,
not just out of the tap. It's like little small things.
mm.
I think I've told you about my dad who stayed with me last year. And just a little thing like when he moved out, he got his own water filter. It's just little things.
Huge things that water is so important for your body. You use it all the time. One small change can have a massive impact
Yeah, yeah.
on your toxic load in your body and how you heal. all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful. So
Yeah,
yes,
sugar, gluten, all that sort of stuff. It's
all
just
of that.
little tweaks, little tweaks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's so funny because I'm wearing the empowered top, but behind me is I choose to trust. So,
Oh, there we go. Look.
it's never it's never a coincidence. It's
You
synchronicity,
know,
right?
yeah, I
It's
think trust
hilarious.
plays a huge role in empowerment because it's
Yeah.
trusting yourself, right? It's about that trust for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've got up on the screen here your empowerment share, which we have just spoken about, which is about you physically healing yourself, led to finding yourself, taking ownership of your health, which led to your inner being and innate power. And then today you've brought along an expert tip, which is exactly what we were just talking about,
Yeah.
challenging the status quo and remaining curious, which has served you exceptionally well. And I
Yeah.
think it's that curiosity now,
Yeah.
being open-minded. And as you touched on before, this is an age of learning, right? So
Yeah.
that you
Very
can be
much so.
empowered.
Very
So
much so.
knowledge is power when you utilize it and then act upon it, right? So,
Yes. Yeah.
and then part of that knowledge is then digesting it. What sits right with me? What feels right in my gut? Even placing your hand over your gut and checking in, like, does that feel right for me or doesn't it? Because a lot of this doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah. And honoring your uniqueness, Sel.
Yeah.
I think we're all unique. So there's never I think that's important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And being okay with that and being okay with feeling different or being different to those around you, because I know through the spiritual work that we've been doing, we can feel a little bit isolated in our normal community because we're shifting and lifting our frequency, our vibration, our energy. And a lot of those around us aren't doing that because they're not
Mm,
questioning or not being
mm,
open minded. And fear
mm,
is a lot of
mm.
holding people back. But
Yes.
once you empower yourself and find that courage to be open and be curious, the doors that open are incredible. It's incredible, isn't it?
It is because you're declaring it, right? So
Mm,
so from a quantum physics perspective, there's a response. And that's what
mm.
I'm saying. That's where I have found because I was so open to the truth found me.
Yeah.
Fascinating how it all unfolded over the last 20 years.
Oh, more of those goosebumps. The truth found you when you were open to seeing the truth
Yes.
or
Yeah.
hearing the truth or
Mhm.
whatever, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. I just love it. And I think this is definitely the time for us to be talking more and more about this so that people go, oh, I had that niggle inside, or I had that little thing, and just encouraging people to take that step forward. As you said, simple, small steps, but reach out to us, reach out to other like minded people, find your tribe. 2024 is about finding your tribe and stepping up, I reckon.
100%. And I think just knowing that it's okay to question things and it's okay to change your beliefs and it's okay for you to expand your consciousness. And I just sometimes feel people are quite apprehensive about even opening up to that.
Mm,
And I want to just share with you that it's okay. It's more than okay to do that. You have every right to do that. Seeking your truth is, as
yep,
far as I'm concerned, your birthright.
yep.
Yeah, it's very important, I think. So,
Absolutely, and just realize that there are so many supports out there, and you and I, we're in lots of like-minded communities, and we just want to support people, hold their hand, and say it's okay. It's just like it's okay to honor those feelings inside because they're just going to take you on the right direction, on the right path. It's your inner GPS.
yeah, I agree. I agree.
I was just going to introduce like some of the clothes here because this is linking into, as I said, I've got the Chakra range of clothing, which, just was downloaded to me. And it was a way for people to work with their energy more effectively, more powerfully, literally dress with intent. So that if you're looking for that encouragement or support, put on your yellow top. I've got the racer back, we've got the long sleeve. And the words on the front is, what am I choosing? I'm choosing to be empowered, right? And that's, finding that strength within yourself where you can sit in the driver's seat of your life. And on the long sleeve ones, it's about we've got empowering strength, growth, and courage. So the strength to be your authentic self and grow from ongoing personal development and learning, like we're saying, and the courage to follow that guidance within you. Like super, super important. And this solar plexus chakra is associated with courage, strength, your self-esteem, your confidence, your personal power, and your willpower. Like it's
It's
amazing
so
when those
beautiful.
all
So
comes
it's so
together.
beautiful. Yeah.
I know. And I've got a beautiful candles that are made too with Australian essences, and they've got the chakra crystals inside. So with
I
using
have one here. I
string.
have one here. I have one here.
Oh, yeah,
My
yes.
beautiful candle.
Smell them.
Stunning.
They're divine. And
Beautiful.
then, of course, I've got bracelets. I've got citrine bracelets just for the self-empowered ones, or different types of bracelets, because we're touchy-feely. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. So what are you choosing to focus on? Because that's going to be amplified. So I think this is the time to really step into the driver's seat of your own energy and, take control. I mean, I just love look at the whole colors there with the color.
They're beautiful. Can I share something just in terms of my experience with your clothing? So I have a beautiful sky blue long top,
Yeah.
and I received it in the mail from Sally. And honestly, the energy that I felt, and when I wear it, I can feel the energy in it. So it's definitely beautiful, conscious clothing. I
It,
really love it. It's really gorgeous. So I can definitely feel the energy when I wear it. So
I know it's
yeah,
because it's made with love. It's
yeah.
it's
It's in
amazing.
it's in the fab. It's really, it's like, it's sort of, it's made, it's like woven into it. It's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. And, of course, we're sustainably sourced and ethically manufactured, which are two really strong values of mine about sustainability. And we've got a good friend, Claire, who has produced all
Yes.
these beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful sprays, right? This one is I thought this was appropriate today, this transformation one, which is about awakening and manifesting, So
Gorgeous. Really
it's so
beautiful.
I use my sprays all the time. Once again, it helps shift and lift the frequency and the energy in the room, around people, when you've
Yes.
been around sometimes Debbie Downers. And of course, we've got each top comes with a little
Oh,
crystal, and so
yes.
it's the tiger's eye. I'll bring up the little
I
thing.
bought mine. Mine's the blue one. Look at my beautiful
Yeah,
blue
that's
one.
right. Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Stunning.
Um, here we go. So this is the tiger's eye, and the properties around this crystal. It assists in boosting self-confidence, enhancing personal power, and promoting a sense of courage and determination. So it goes in so well with what the energy of these tops are all about. So yeah, I just wanted to share that a little bit because it's linking in with what we're talking about today. Because as I said before, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So what is your intention? What are you choosing to do? Because as you said, what did you say before? There was some line about it's your life and it's your birthright.
Oh, it's our birthright to, it's okay to let go beliefs that we
Yeah,
have taken on through ancestral lineage or from anywhere, where
yeah,
you begin to question, so what are my own beliefs? So these are inherited beliefs, but what are my beliefs? And are they the same? And I think a lot of people have a guilt around releasing old beliefs
mm,
in terms of a loyalty towards family
yeah,
or a church or a religion or whatever,
yeah,
right? And I just feel that could make it this time on this planet a very difficult time if
mm.
you hold on to that. I think there's a lot of letting go of attachments to that, and you it's your birthright to have to know and live your own truth, whatever that may be.
Absolutely. I think spirituality is the new religion, and I know religion is linking into that, but just the pure connection to spirituality is the way forward.
I
And
agree, Sal, and I agree, and I believe that spirituality is connection to our inner guide. It's other
yeah,
words, it's going inwards first before going out, because I
yeah,
think this is where it's at. This is where this is it. This is your. It's not it, but this is a very critical part that people tend to bypass. They don't go here; they go straight there, and
yeah,
it's not separate. It's all one. And I think people do not understand how powerful they are, and I think that's why we have,
yeah.
we are immensely powerful, and it's here, it's within us.
It's taking the power back
Yeah,
ourselves
yeah.
and not relying on external factors to drive us. And tell us what to do, or yeah, it's just taking our power back and
It's
honoring.
about you. It's about unity, consciousness, and not separation,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So it's becoming it's about living in union with your inner being,
yeah.
and that's your power. And then and where that takes you, I find my journey with that has been really beautiful.
Yeah, it is that unity, consciousness and that collective consciousness.
Yes,
So,
yes,
as we do our work with Marcus, and we're always talking about that we're all playing the same song, and we're
yes.
all part of an orchestra with different instruments, but we're
Different
all
instruments, but we're all in the same tune. We're all in tune, and we're all playing the same song.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah, it's really incredible.
what's so exciting about this massive shift that we're in the middle of going through, and it's the awakening phase of like, whoa, and realizing, as we said before, there's dark and light, but when we stick to the light, oh my gosh, it's so illuminating and it's so supportive and it's so loving. It's you
Yes,
feel that
yes.
higher energy. It's in so encapsulating, and I don't know, you can just allow yourself to just be,
Be. And, you know, so the more you tap into it and the more you tune into it, the more powerful and palpable it becomes.
Yeah.
And the more easy it is to then activate it or you know, dip into it. So it definitely becomes a muscle building exercise, and it becomes extremely powerful when you're able to access it quite quickly in a more deeper way. I found that as I've gone, that's what's happening. So
Mm.
it's ever growing,
Oh,
right?
absolutely, and I love it because we're always talking about physically, working
Yes,
on your muscles, but we've
yes.
gotta work on the muscles on all 3 levels, the mind, the body, and the soul. The soul is that what you were just talking about. So, it's time for people to get fit on every level.
On every level, and in fact, the energetic level helps the physical level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all linked.
Oh, it's a holistic approach, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah.
it's beautiful. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Kim. Are there any sort of
Wow.
parting words before we finish off today?
Um, I think I would like to say that loving yourself is very, very important.
Mm,
And living from a place of love, making decisions from a place of love, communicating with people from a place of love, working from a place of love. I just feel that that for me has really helped me really transform how my life unfolds. And we can never do with enough, you know, it's not, we can always do with more love. So that I would say
yeah.
would be my parting. It's just
I
living
love
from a place of love.
I love that. I always
Yeah.
say when to my clients, I say, just if you're coming from a place of love, respect, and dignity, you can't go wrong when you're speaking the
On
truth.
no.
Speaking the truth, and
Yeah.
which is no coincidence that you got the light blue top, because that's all about communication, expressing the truth, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, it's beautiful. Your whole concept is beautiful. So I love being part of it, and thank you for inviting me
Oh,
today.
no, I'm just, as I said, I'm very selective about who comes on this show because, it's to empower other people, right? And realize that you're not alone when you have these feelings or these gut little niggles,
Mm,
that's your true inner voice talking to
mm,
you. And
mm.
I think, today's topic was about unleashing the power within you, right? And just
100%.
finding the courage and confidence to follow that inside. So anytime, just reach out to Kim. I'm going to put your details in there because you are amazing, amazing person.
Oh my goodness.
We'll be working
Right back at you. Thank you so much, Sel. So beautiful to be in your company.
yeah. Well, happy New
Love
Year.
you.
And,
Happy New Year and Happy New You.
yeah, happy New You. Oh, I love
Happy
that.
New You.
Happy New You. I'm writing that down. Happy
Yeah.
New You.
Yes to our
Oh my gosh,
expansion.
that is fantastic. I love that. That's our theme now. Happy New You for
Happy New Year. Yeah.
January. Yeah.
Especially this year. A lot
Yeah.
of new yous.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to having you back on the show later on in the year, Kim, if you'd love to
Fantastic. I'd
come and
love
join
to
us.
come. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm just going to drop you down into the green room and I'll
All
just
right.
wind
No
up here.
problem. Bye, everybody.
So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. You can join me for another episode of Finding Your Way with Sally Estlin next Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time and Thursday at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, it was so beautiful to have Kim on, and love that little insight at the end. Happy New You, because this is the year for you to unleash the power within and step back into empower yourself inside and out, because now is the time. It's a beautiful time to be alive on this planet. So with that, I look forward to catching up with you next week or with another episode. And I'm just going to bring this up and drop myself down and look forward to seeing you back on Finding Your Way next week. I'm just going to drop myself down and thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my Empowered Clothing, products and services at empoweredclothing.com.au. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sally Estlin, the Holistically Fit Specialist.